Hello there, I'm Bigalius. Good morning. How are we? I'm not well. I think I just used all of my energy to say hello. I'm sick as a dog. I've had this like perpetual sickness for a while now, and I just want it to end. I know that sounds, as much as that sounds like the title to a Mike M song, it's not. It's how I feel. I'm just so exhausted and worn out. But I want to talk about some stuff because I saw a really interesting headline recently that was saying that with the Indiana Jones game that's coming out, I think in December, I think it's December 3rd, something like that. But with this Indiana Jones video game, apparently there's going to be a warning message saying, basically telling people that the Nazis were bad, they're not good guys. It's just funny. It's funny. It is. And all the comments are saying like, oh, this is ridiculous. You know, oh, I can't believe this. You've lost my purchase. That's it. I'm buying the game now. Let me tell you this straight off the bat. There are very few things less accurate than that statement. If someone says, oh, you've lost my purchase, I'm not buying this game anymore, odds are either they were not going to buy it to begin with, or they still buy it. They're still going to buy it. People wait years for games. They hype them up. They, anticipate them like crazy. They're not just going to back out on a game like that. And there's myriad of evidence, based on that. All the people who said, oh, Dragon Age Veilguard, too woke, won't be buying that. And then, it smashes the charts and does tremendously well. Even with like Call of Duty World War II back in 2017, other people saying, I'm not going to buy this game because you can't play as the Nazis. Weird take aside. They still bought it, still played it in droves, and they complained about it when they were playing it, but they still bought the game. So that won't be the case. The game will do as well as it would have if they didn't have that warning message. People either will or won't buy the game, etc, blah, blah, blah. I have no idea how well the game is, and I really just don't know. But I'm going to tell you why this message is here. Because ironically, the people who are saying this, the people who are complaining about this in this way, it's because of you. It's because you weirdos. It's because of these guys. And the reason that a message like this is popping up currently is because right now, even on the day of recording, today, there's currently an election going on where there is a guy who honestly really could win, has a very good chance of winning, who has said, if I win, you won't have to vote again. Whose party is trying to enact a bill that stops the Democrats from having any say in Parliament, or whatever you call it, in office over there. Those are the roots of dictatorships. That's how dictatorships happen. The whole point of having multiple parties and multiple representatives is that you are supposed to, even if one party wins and has control, you're still supposed to have the input of other parties. If you don't have that, then one party will take control in a way that mirrors a dictatorship. And he has said this by saying you won't have to vote again. He could just enact a rule and say, just Republicans now. Scary. I got very political, but I always will on this channel. I don't care. But yes, there is currently a person who is gaining real traction, real ground, who is mirroring dictatorships, which of course, Hitler did back in the Nazi era, back in those days. And of course, he has a little child following him around like a lost puppy dog, in the form of Musk, who has frequently compared himself to dictators in a positive way. He's very happy about the fact that he's being compared to dictators, which again, you have to be careful of. I know it sounds ridiculous, and a lot of people will say, well, even if that is the case, I don't care. I don't believe in dictatorships. I believe in blah, blah, blah. But have you ever known that guy? Have you ever been, inadvertently been friends with that one guy who's like, the Nazis were pretty smart though, weren't they? I know they lost, but through the skin of their teeth, because they were kind of smart. They had some good ideas. They had super weapons. Now, again, I'm not saying I believe in them, but they were pretty smart. No, they were not smart, because this is the party who got to Russia and said, oh, it's cold. Oh, no, it's cold. I didn't realize that. These are the people who lost because they didn't realize that Russia was cold. They weren't smart. The Nazis were not smart. They were just taken in because of, a myriad of reasons, but a crumbling economy that they promised to fix for them. Remind you of anything. But yes, You know, everyone knows that friend. Everyone had that friend who was just like, oh, the Nazis, they were pretty smart. You have to tell these people. You know, in the past, you could just get away with being like, oh, what a weird guy. What a weird thing to say. They didn't realize that, no, what a weirdo. In the past, you could get away with saying that. But now, there are people in power with all of the power in the world, all of the influence in the world, who are kind of aligning with that and saying, yeah, man, maybe the Nazis were smart. Should we do what they did? Should we do what they're doing? So you have to be careful of that. You have to tell people, no, the Nazis were not good. No, they were not. They were not great. In the past, yeah, okay, in the past 10 years ago, whatever, we're reaching the point where it was more like almost 10 years ago, to be honest with you. But around about 10 or 12 years ago, 15 years ago, you could have got away with just putting something out and the Nazis lose and that's it. But now, these people have momentum. There are people who hang Nazi flags up in their bedroom that they got from a fair, right next to their AR-15. You know, they're definitely not going to shoot up a school, are they? These people, they were fringe and they were weird, and now they have people telling them, you know what, maybe you're right, and maybe we should do something about this. You have to stop that from happening. You know, and there's a responsibility to that wasn't there previously. So this is why we have that warning error. This is why, you know, why it pops up, and you have to be careful. It's so stupid. The people who are complaining about censorship are the ones who are creating censorship more than anyone else. I promise you that. I promise you that. These fringe weirdos are the people who are pushing censorship harder than anyone else. You know, it's always people like, Nick Merckx and Dr. Disrespect and people like that who are, you know, the Shungite weirdos, you know, the people who would hang Nazi flags in their rooms. Are like, oh, who cares? It's just a flag. It's just a piece of cloth. You know, people who would do that, who, you know, then land themselves in hot water when they're talking to minors. It's like, okay, so now we have to put harsher regulations on things to stop people from going, well, he did it. You know, he did it, so I guess I'll do it too. We have to tell people, no, that's not okay. None of this stuff is okay. And yet he's still receiving thousands in donations on his YouTube stream. You know, this is why we have to be careful with this stuff. And I hope I made sense. Don't forget to go out and vote today. Vote for whoever you wish, if this is on the day of the election. If not, I'll just cut this out. But I will see everyone freaking later, dude.
The PlayStation is only $149, and you can also get leading titles.